going to be remodeling my fireplace. Figured I'd make a short video about it. My plans are to extend the fireplace all the way up to the ceiling, 12 feet. I'm going to be using a veneer stone product for an updated look. I've already torn the old mantle off. I've poured a little bit of concrete over my existing brick base so it can support a limestone slab that I've ordered. Hope you enjoy this video. So I'm almost finished with my framing. I use steel studs. I think they're easy to work with. I doubled up the corners for a little extra strength. I made sure the track and the existing studs that I put in actually lined up with the existing studs, so they've got some real solid tie into the existing wall. Those standard 2x4 studs plus the hardy backer is going to build me out even with my bricks, so I should be able to put a skim coat over everything. I think it'll work out nice. So the hardy backer seems to be going on well. I'm using a bead of liquid nails on the metal studs behind it, just as an extra safety precaution. And I'm using these backer-on screws, which have a serrated edge. They seem to recess the screw heads pretty flush. Seems to be doing the trick. Since I'm going directly over the hardy board with my scratch coat, I'm using a bonding agent first. This will help the mortar adhere a little better. So I'm just about finished with the scratch coat, just kind of showing what it looks like. You can YouTube how to put a scratch coat on if you want to see how to do it, just kind of showing the steps that I'm taking. So the manufacturer Stonecraft recommended opening 3 cases and mixing them out to pick from, just so you get an even selection of color and sizes. I went ahead and started. Got the first little section on here. It's slow work. Again, I'm not a professional, so taking my time. So far, so good. So another quick check-in on my progress. Things are moving right along. Up above the brick onto the scratch coat. Finally got my mantle mounted. Just put a little paper on there, keep the mortar from staining it. Pretty happy with things. Definitely taken me a while, but I'll keep plugging away. So just to give you a little overview of the materials I'm using. Type S mortar to apply the stone. I'm using a bonding additive. My buddy said it's not needed and water would be fine. I'm just spending a couple extra bucks just as an extra precaution. I'm adding a dye into that, make the gray mortar a little more brown to match the stone a little better. Just putting it in a bucket, using a paddle mixer. I'm doing small batches, a couple rows at a time after work on the weekends. So for me that's working. Doing quicker or bigger quantities, use a mud pan. And I'm either using an angle grinder or a brick hammer to make my cuts. So just to give you a quick overview on how I'm applying the stone. First, I'm spraying the scratch coat, make sure it's got a little bit of moisture to it. Spraying the back of my stone a little bit, usually doing this ahead of time just so they got a little moisture as well. Mud pan probably be easier, again small batches. I'm just using the bucket that I mixed it in. I'm going on the stone and I'm kind of scratching it on, getting it fixed in there first. Then just getting a little over a ½ inch. Up. Smushing it in pretty good. Again, this is dry stack, so I don't really have much of a joint. lot slower than what a professional would be doing, but just taking my time, making sure each one's on there good. Then I may be adding a little bit, tucking a little bit to fill the little gaps. Just rolling along that way, trying to switch every other corner, making sure I got some consistent staggering, varying my thicknesses, colors. Again, I got the stone laid all over the place here to choose from. So I only have a few rows left. I've been checking level along the way. I'm perfectly level, even on both sides. Looking good. So I'm down to my last few cuts. Corner pieces, I took an old box, cardboard, traced it with the pencil, used it as a template on the last pieces, and just cut those out with the angle grinder. Seems to be working pretty well. So once I cut those pieces, I bring them up, just kind of dry fit them, make sure they're gonna work out. I can shim them up a little bit. Looks pretty good. Finally got the scaffolding down. Everything's finished up. Got the last pieces of stone under the hearth. Doing a little bit of painting, trying to get this room back together. Give some final pictures when I'm completely done. All right, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Here's my final results. Pretty happy with how everything came out. Definitely would rate this as a pretty difficult do-it-yourself project. If you're gonna tackle something like this, I would say check with all the manufacturer's specifications as far as exactly how they want you to do their product installation-wise. Thanks again for watching.